Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live. Yes, all the way live from Black Pearl Studios, where we talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. Now, again, I got a special guest coming on tonight. So normally I do my rant in the beginning, but listen, when you're busy and you're a superstar, you kind of just have to, let go first. So y'all, without further ado, y'all give it up for our newly minted, newly elected chair of our state Democratic Party, former state senator, Miss Karen Tallian. Karen, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Dana. That was quite an introduction.
That's what I do. How you been?
Drinking from a fire hose, but otherwise good.
You know, there are a lot of people who may have heard your name. They may have even seen you on other shows. But just for the people for Turn Left, tell the people who you are and where you come from.
Okay, well, it's a long story, but I'll make it short. So I am an attorney from Northwest Indiana. I lived in the little town of Ogden Dunes for the last 50 years, raised 3 kids there. And then I became a state senator. I was in the Indiana State Senate for 16 years, did almost every job there was to do there. I was on the Pensions and Labor Committee as ranking minority member for the entire time that I was there. I was on labor. I was also on the Environment Committee on the Courts and Criminal Code. That's where they stick you when you're an attorney. You have to do that one.
Right.
And then I was on Appropriations and on Budget Committee. For 4 years, I was caucus chair. In 2021, I decided that I kind of had enough, and I needed a break. So I retired. I brought in a new guy, a great guy. Talk about bringing up the bench, and I brought Rodney Pohl on in my, to take that
Love
spot.
Rodney.
We love Rodney. He's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of me. I've been semi-retired for the past couple years. But given everything that is going on in the state, in national, I just decided, I could either sit on the beach or I could get back in the game, because we need all the action and resistance that we can.
So it's one thing to want to get back in the game, right? Because you could have just been like local community, done some stuff in the district, but you decided to run for state party chair. That's not just getting back in the game. That's being the coach. What was the decision to go all the way to the state party chair?
Because I think I can do it. I think, I spent so many years in the state Senate. I spent, 20 some years in politics. I don't need to go back well, I've got a lot of context. I've got a lot of knowledge. I know that there were some other people that were running who were younger than me, but it's not about age. It's about what you know, how you get along with people. For example, I've talked to a lot of the labor leaders since I've gotten in, and even before. Labor, the Democratic Party has lost some of labor.
Lost a lot of labor.
Yeah, in the past couple years. Well, all those guys knew me when I was in the State House fighting against right to work. I've got a long history with all the labor unions in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I'm a person that they know, they trust, and hopefully I can help bring them back.
Yeah, we need them back.
So it was about my connections and about, somebody needs to drive the boat.
I feel that, and tip of the hat to Mike Schmuel. He did a as well as he could in a very tough time. I mean, my goodness, he came on right in the right as we were in the middle of a pandemic. And we had to kind of like navigate, what does the party look like? How do we engage in the middle of a pandemic? So, you know what? I know a lot of people always complain about what was or what wasn't done. But if you have to try to do a community front facing thing when you got to be locked in the house, it changes your perspective. And I just wanted to just kind of give a tip to my friend, Mike Schmuel. I gave him a hard time when he first came on, but we ended up coming around. Your role is going to be a little different. You're coming on after the fact, we rejected the Orange Menace for a minute. Now the Orange Menace is back. As much as I didn't care for the policies of Holcomb, what we're seeing from Mike Braun, and more specifically, the other clown, his lieutenant governor, it is a different world in that state house. How are you as the chair going to try to keep us motivated and keep us together when we are fighting so much opposition at our state house? Well,
I think that it's already happening. So part of my pledge when I said I was running is that I'm planning to call 92 county chairs plus 9 district chairs, right? And all the caucus heads. So I set this goal for myself because I wanted to hear from all of them what they need from the state party, and I just wanted to hear from them. So what I'm hearing is actually encouraging.
Okay.
I have county party chairs who are telling me, well, I'm a pretty red county. We used to have a Democrat meeting and we would have 10 people, and now we've got 30.
Oh, wow.
People who used to have 30 are now getting 70. So with everything that's going on out there, people are angry.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to hone my message about how people need to direct their anger.
Yes.
They need to direct it and act on it.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I'm going for.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you 100%. It's almost like people want to know where to go and what to do. I love that you've focused in on that because a lot of folks are new to politics. Yes. It's their anger or frustration or sadness that is getting them involved, and we as the party need to be guiding them. So talk about some of the other initiatives as far as community engagement goes that you have in mind. You talked about unions, you talked about reaching out to these county parties. What else you got?
Oh, what else I got?
I know you got a bag. See, I'm not even.
Well, first of all, reaching out to the county parties, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them haven't really heard from state party very much for a long time. So, before, and I always said this, even when I was in the Senate, before you act, you need a plan.
Say that.
And before you make a plan, you need to gather the facts. So that's what I see myself doing right now, is finding out from all these county parties just exactly what they need, because they don't all need the same thing.
No, they don't.
We've got county party in Monroe County that just kicks ass, right? But it's Monroe County, it's Bloomington. We've got county parties in other parts of the state where they can't recruit candidates because nobody wants to run as a Democrat, because they just assume that they're going to get beat. So I'm trying to get those facts. I'm trying to figure out what everybody needs. So we have, and I'm hearing some themes, mm-hmm. right? Hearing some of the same things. They need training.
Yeah.
All over, and that sounds like a cliche, but in fact, we need to rebuild the machine.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And when I'm talking about machine politics, I'm talking, when I grew up, Richard J. Daley was the mayor of Chicago. there was a machine, right?
Right.
Precinct organizations, everybody had a job, everybody filtered and went up, it went from the grassroots up. And we've kind of lost that. There are a lot of precinct organizations that are just not very, they might come to a meeting once a month, but we need to get them organized and give everybody a job. Right now, people are saying, what can I do to help? We need to stand there with a thing and says, this
Yeah.
is what you need to do today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. Like I said, my first ask when I go to these meetings is to say, direct your anger. Write 5 letters to congressmen, make 5 phone calls, engage, go to a protest. When I was growing up, there was the civil rights movement. There was the March on Washington. There were marches for the Vietnam War. All those things mattered. When you mobilize millions of people all over the country, people start to listen.
Yeah.
And it might take a while but I view it like this. I think of a pressure cooker, and inside that pressure cooker is the entire Republican Congress or the Republican State House, and you turn up the heat. And what's going to happen, either it's going to explode or something's going to happen. We're going to fire Elon Musk, or maybe we're going to do something about all those people at the State House who are, this budget's going to pass.
Yeah. It's a pretty stinky budget.
It's a pretty stinky budget. And when they get done, you just watch. There are going to be layoffs all over state government.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, you start to lay people off. Those people aren't spending money in your community. And you know what that causes. I mean, I believe we're in for a recession. We need to fight back.
And nobody wants to see our tax dollars wasted, but the hatchet job that these folks are taking to people's lives, like, listening to people talk about, if my wealthy mother-in-law doesn't get her Social Security check, she won't complain about it. Those that complain about it are frauds, or just the blatant disregard of people who have been career government servants for 15, 16, 17 years, and then being told that they're probationary and that they have no value. I can't understand how we expect to get things done. I know a lot of people want to, streamline things. I have no problem with that, but they're not doing it surgically. They're doing it haphazardly. That is really causing a lot of harm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody needed to do what we're doing right now, either at the federal level or at the state level.
And I think this has been a good time for people to, get the training they need and to become candidates, because I believe that there's going to be opportunity for Democrats to win seats that they hadn't won before. What is the plan to try to get, we all hate to see uncontested seats, right? How do we work to fill those uncontested seats?
Well, that's my ask number 2. So I told you I'm just pitching me softballs, Dana, and we didn't even coordinate it.
Right.
So part of the, you go out and I tell people 3 things. First of all, direct your anger. Secondly, get involved. So you go to your county chair and you say, work as a precinct committee person. There are counties all over the place where they don't have enough people in the precinct organization. We are going to be doing, it'll be announced a little bit later this summer, but we are going to be doing a statewide voter registration drive.
Oh, love that.
Because that hasn't been done for quite a while. And we're trying, we're going to put it out. We're going to try to at least set it for a big weekend, a
Yeah.
big weekend drive. Now it's going to take longer than that, but that'll probably be the kickoff. So get involved, help people register to vote, volunteer, run for office.
Yeah.
Yes, we need candidates. And sometimes you go to a county and you've got people fighting over who's going to run the precinct, but that only happens in a very few places.
Right. And Marion County is probably one of the only few, or maybe Lake County, where there's a heavy Democratic presence. It's not going to be like that, in a Huntington County or, a Switzerland County or something like that. Right.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
And, and the thing is like, I think the fear for not just running as a Democrat, there's always this talk about money and resources, right? And I think
that's point number 3.
What? Okay, I'm just gonna stop because they don't think we did this on purpose. We haven't.
Great, just say great minds. Great minds.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Well, so what I was going to say is the other thing is all of these efforts cost money. I mean, it takes money to keep the party running. It takes money to produce, the things that we need to do to help train people. We are putting out message. We are putting out, going to be doing, like we're going to be doing videotape training sessions, try to do podcasts on local issues that would then become available to the counties to push out, right?
Right.
So we'll generate content, they'll help push it out. All these things take money, and we need you.
Yeah.
So I have said before, I watched NPR do this for the last, 40, 50 years?
Yeah.
They have a pledge drive, and you sign up, send us $10 a month, send us whatever you can afford to chip in. And now back to you, Dana, on Act Blue.
Come on.
This is how we do it.
Well, there's a link in the live feed right now. Click on that link. Become a $10 a month donor to the Indiana Democratic Party. I promise you, you won't even miss the $10. Many of you will not miss the $10. Some people will, and I'm not going to discount those. But for many of you, you will not even notice the $10. That's a cup of coffee. I mean, especially if you go into Starbucks, because them people is charging you an arm and a leg for a cup of coffee. But just sign up, become a recurring donor. And if we get 50 people, right, to become $10 monthly recurring donors, that's a start, right? And then we just build on it. We just build on it. But I mean, a lot of the candidates think that it takes a lot of money to run for office. But I think it also depends on like the office that they're running for. And I also think a lot of candidates believe that the state party should be giving them money. Now, me and Dana have talked about this. And no, the state party is not supposed to. There's no way. It's not economically feasible for the state party to give money to every candidate that runs for office. There's just too many offices. But we want to train you on how to raise that money, right? That's part of the.
And we also have help. We have other people out there raising money. There are PACs we can put you in touch with. We can, there are things that we can show you how to do. But you're right. I mean, all the money that's raised for state party, we get some small amount monthly from the DNC, but the rest of it, I have to raise.
Right.
So I cannot, you cannot ask your state party chair to raise money for candidates in 92 counties.
It's not possible.
It doesn't work like that. And part of, and I don't want to be, nasty when I'm not being any kind of way nasty when I say this, but, a serious candidate has to have support.
Yes.
And part of that support is, have somebody do a house party for you.
Absolutely.
If you don't have any friends to do a house party for you, then maybe you shouldn't be running.
You know what? That is a part of my Act Blue training that I give. I tell people, your grandma love you. Your grandma will do anything for you. But if your grandmother won't support you and give you no money, maybe you need to rethink your plans.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So we can help. We can show you how to do it. We can, and the state party does have to be responsible, or, at least help when we start talking about statewide candidates, when we talk about, raising money for, so we help with mail programs,
Yeah.
And people run their mail programs through the state party. We don't make money on that, but, it costs us something to do it. But here we are, and that helps every candidate who uses our mail service.
One of the things I hope to see because I see the weeklies or the biweekly newsletters that come out from the state party. I would love for when there's a candidate running for either the state house or higher. Right? State house or higher. If they don't have a primary opponent, then start before the primary. But if they have a primary opponent, wait to after the primary for the party to have a candidate of the week. And with our Act Blue tools, you can highlight that candidate because you're already sending these letters out anyway, right? Highlight that candidate and then create a tandem form where you're raising money for the candidate and you're raising money for the party. I mean, and that way, not only are you raising money, but you're getting more information out about these candidates and the help that they need and who they are so people can follow. Like I do all this stuff here at Turn Left. I literally put everybody's Act Blue link on who comes on the show, try to turn you know what I'm saying? Just every little bit helps. I mean, you don't have to be a superstar. It's just the little things. I got a question from the chat that I want to ask you. Christine Mobley, Craig, who is down in District 9, I do believe. She wants to know, are you going to come out to the rural counties and communities to help us here? The eastern part of District 9, Ripley, Dearborn, Franklin, Decatur, Switzerland, and Ohio counties are wanting more support from the state party. So that's Adam Dickey's area.
All right, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, can you still see me?
I can.
All right, because I don't see you anymore.
No, you're not going to see me.
Okay, somehow I've lost the screen. Am I coming? Yes, the answer is yes. So our first two town halls, by the way, are in the 9th district.
Okay.
We're doing one in Bloomington. We're doing one in New Albany. But I'm also been invited to come down. Now I can't see my calendar, but I'm coming down to an event that is going on in Southeast. It's not Switzerland, but I can't see my calendar right now. But yeah, I'm coming out. I am going out to the counties. We are also inviting counties, new county chairs, to come to a county chair summit here in Indy. I believe it's like May 3rd or something. Okay. For training sessions. So yes, I can't get to 92 counties this summer, but I'm going at least twice in every district, and then I'm making some other appearances as I can to county events.
Okay. And see, one of the things that I've always noticed is that we haven't, as a party, and I say we, right? I don't say the party, I say we haven't done enough, in my opinion, to engage the region like we should. You
mean my region?
Yes. Yeah. I remember when I was the deputy chair of the party, and I was, jet setting all over the state. And one of the places that I felt like we needed to have more activities and greater impact was in the Lake County, in the region, in District 1, because it is the other bluest county area, right? It is the other place.
That's
and
right.
It is actually more multicultural than Indianapolis. And I think the plans for rural Indiana and the plans for urban Indiana should be slightly different. Talk about how we need to engage our more diverse communities, because my goodness, if you want to turn out Indianapolis it is 30% African American. If you're not talking to Black people about Black people issues, you're gonna lose them. You're not gonna win anything. And it's the same thing in the region where it's pretty much a third, right? You gotta talk to the Hispanic community. You gotta talk to the Black community. But the region is so important and it's been so neglected. Talk about some of your plans for the region and engaging them.
Well, I think that the people in the region are really happy to have a region person now sitting in this office. Yeah, it's my area. I mean, I know Frank Mervan has already started doing his whole series of town halls. We're going to be working with with Frank's organization. I talked to him or to Brett, their his chief of staff, pretty regularly. And I know so many of those people up there. The new county chair, Mike Repay, he's got his job set out for him. A lot of the region is broken. As in Indy, they're, broken down into townships. In the region, we have a bunch of different city organizations. We have Gary organization, Hammond, Munster. There are about 10 of them that have their own town or city organizations. So he's going to be going out working to get those, some of them are really good. Some of them need some work.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my hood, if you will. So I'm
not your hood. So one of my favorite county party chairs, Christine Bohm, put in the chat, coordinated campaigns are a good way to stretch money. I know this year we don't actually have elections, but thinking about 2026, are we in the process as far as as operations go and thinking about and planning for coordinated campaigns? I know District 3 is a district that we could do something with if we turn Fort Wayne out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I just talked to someone today who's been doing a lot of, he's a consultant. He's been working to put together a plan. According to them, we had 345,000 lean Democrat. So, in the van, they score people and above 70% lean Democrat, 345,000 people who are on the voter rolls who did not come out.
Yeah.
So this is one of the huge things that we need to do. Now, some places the voter rolls are just out of date, screwed up. We've got people who are dead, people who are moved, but we're trying to, we're going to do an all-out effort to clean that stuff up. We're going to send out information. We're going to send out lists to every precinct person.
Love that.
And say, this is your neighborhood. You tell us who's dead or gone.
Love that.
You tell us who's got Trump signs in their yard. So just from your personal knowledge, just tell us what you know, and we can get that put in. You tell my friend Christine Bohm that I'm going to put her to work on the rural caucus, which we're trying, we're setting up. We have all these groups, the interest groups that are out there. And one of the things that we have not made use of at State Party, we have caucuses, Latino caucus and the Women's Caucus and the Labor Caucus, but we also have a provision for councils. So maybe, we put together a group, a committee on rural issues. We turn them into an advisory council, and there is a format for doing this. We haven't done it.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on doing that. I don't know if that answers Christine's question about coordinated campaigns.
She didn't have a question. She was making a statement.
Okay.
Well, and
Okay.
Michelle Higgs, add her to your list of folks to talk to. She's
I already have.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hadn't
Yes.
already done it, yeah, she's out here. She was grinding on building her rural organization while also running for office, and so
Yes.
I try to plug her as much as possible. There's so much that needs to be done. I think a lot of people see the elephant and they think, oh my God, how am I going to consume this elephant? But you're taking things one step at a time.
One bite at a time is the answer. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things that I hear all the time is that messaging from Democrats, messaging. Now, I think our communications team does a really great job at getting, using social media and getting points out and expressing our disdain for policies that are coming out of the State House, right?
Yeah.
But also we have to talk about what we're for. Messaging always seems to be the biggest concern, that people are saying that we are not. The problem is, Karen, in my opinion, is that we're smarter than anybody that would wear a red hat, a red MAGA hat. We're smart and we think in multiple syllables. It just is who we are. So how do we work on our messaging so that it is digestible for everyone who's going to hear it?
Interesting question, because as an attorney, as a practicing attorney for like 35 years, I have always tried to help people through the legalese, if you will. And I've always tried to make the message be in terms that everybody can understand. I don't know that our message is bad. I think it's not getting to the right people.
Okay.
We send out messaging out of the state party every week, but it doesn't get past the group that we have. And our group may be 30, 40,000 people, but we need to get that messaging out to other places. And maybe the message isn't all about D and R politics. Maybe it's just information. This is what happens, your Social Security office just closed. What do you do? And if we put out messages like that can get out to regular people who need them, I think we need to expand our universe of how we get messages out. And it can't just be messages circulating among the Democrats. We need to figure out how to do that. Now, if it's paid text people, if it's paid, that may be one avenue. Maybe there are other interest groups out there who have interest in specific issues that could help push out a message on one topic or another. So yeah, we're working on that right now.
Yeah, I like that, because one of the things that I'm hoping to see here locally with our Marion County Democratic Party is working with organizations that are already doing that work, some of that grassroots work. Like when you think about Moms Demand Action, right? They have a group that they're talking to, and by the way, they've been incredibly effective. But there are, like I said, Michelle Higgs, there are other groups that are doing some of the work, and it's creating those partnerships, right? The party can't do everything, right? I pride myself on doing Turn Left, because you guys can't sit up once a week and put candidates on the show to get it out to the audience and do that. So I do it, right? And well, I'm not the only one. There are obviously other podcasters out here now, which is great, right? There's the more the merrier, right? All regions of the state, and partnering with those organizations, I think, is a fantastic thing. Now, there was something that I saw that went out, and I want to make sure that you talk about it. And that is, you asked people to submit an application to be deputy chairs. Talk about the roles of the deputy chairs and what the process is going to look like to become a deputy chair of the state party.
All right, so I sent out this invitation. So let me just start back with the organization of the state party. So we have the State Central Committee, the SCC, consists of the chair and vice chair from 9 congressional districts, right? So that's 18 people. We also have members, 3 elected members for the DNC, the Democrat National Committee. We also have 2 members of the DNC, 2 members on our state central committee who were appointed by the national DNC chairman. So we have 5 of DNC members. We have 7 different caucuses. And, I can go through them. We have college, we have Young Dems, we have labor, we have IADC, we have Latino caucus, we have women.
Don't forget Stonewall.
I'm not going to forget Stonewall.
Well, you know what? I'm a cut to the chase. What I'll do is I'll put a link to the Turn Left where Dana and I, Dana Colbert, the executive director, we broke down the party structure. So all of my Turn Left listeners already know the party structure.
Okay, good. All right. So there are 5 deputies that can be appointed by the chair, plus 1 finance committee chair.
Okay.
So the chair, me, I have 6 appointments. So rather than just appoint people, so some people wanted just because it sounds like a cool title, and some of those people have been appointed and never shown up to another meeting.
Pretty much.
We have that. We also have people who have been deputies who have worked really hard. Kent Yeager, for example, worked on the rural caucus issues and worked with Michelle. Kent has decided he's not, he's decided to retire, so I'm going to be looking for a new deputy. But the idea is that rather than have me just pick people, I wanted to open up the process a little bit, tell people, hey, what can you do for the state party? How can you help? These deputy chairs vote on everything except reorganization, and they can be designated to do specific things by the chair. Now, in the past, Mike Schmuel had a deputy for rural affairs. I will probably keep that. But
Okay.
we have other deputies for whatever. So I want to see who's out there that's working, who's out there that wants to do some particular thing. Now, I already have about 30, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. I only get 5, but these other 30 applications are also people who are basically looking to volunteer their services. So I am also putting together a bunch of new committees.
Okay.
So in addition to the rural issues, we're going to have a committee on education. We're going to have a committee on healthcare, veterans, a number of different topics, issues. And I'll see what I get. If I get somebody in this group of 30 applicants who says, hey, I want to work on veterans issues, I'm going to say, I got a study committee for you, So even the people who don't get put in as deputies, because like I said, I only have 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to find a place for these people and that was my idea.
I love that. I mean, that's the one thing about reorganization. When we go through that month-long reorg, you find out who really wants to get involved, if they're willing to run for an elected position in the party, be willing to volunteer and do whatever. I want you to go ahead and pencil me in somewhere on your finance team, because again, I'm focused on small dollar donors and how the tools can help. So just write Indiana's own Dana Black down on how me and Act Blue, because I bring a whole organization with me. So how we can help you on the finance team, because you got to raise money. Got to raise it.
I do.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, I was trying to find the link. I will find that. Is the application period closed now?
No, I sent it out. It's April 21st, I believe.
Okay, and you sent it in an email, right? I think so.
If somebody contacts State Party, if you don't have, we send it out to, I'm trying to push this out, right?
Right.
So we send it out to all the county chairs. So your county chair, whoever that is, would have this link to this form. It's, it's not too onerous. But if you can't find it, contact State Party and we'll get you one.
Love that. Love that. Oh, okay, because again, there's a place for everybody, right? If you want to get involved, I'll find the link. I'll get with Dana, make sure that I have it, and then I'll make sure that I get that posted, so you guys can apply if you're really interested in becoming a more actively engaged in a formal way with the party. There's so much to do. Like I got to tell you, Karen, one of the things that drives me nuts is that people have all these great ideas, but then go, well, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? And they don't want to step up. And we're saying, we want you. The other thing that I hear a lot, and we want to dispel this right now. A lot of people tell me that they reached out to the county party or to a party individual and they were turned away. Sometimes individuals do dumb stuff. Right. Sometimes we got humans in our party, but the party wants you. Talk about, yes, you're going to plug them in different places, but how would you encourage them if for some reason someone didn't embrace them like they should? What would you tell them to do next?
If your county chairman told you to get lost, that's all right.
We keep it at 100.
I sure hope that doesn't happen very often. But if it does, if that actually happened to somebody, go to your district chair and see what they say.
Love it. Love it. I love it.
We do have a kind of chain of command.
I love that. And that's the thing, like, don't let one roadblock stop you from doing what you want to do, because you might be the person that comes up with the most amazing idea that gets us moving in a positive direction, right? Again, I hear a lot of people talking about what is wrong or what ain't right, but you got to help us, because I'm going to say this. I say it once. I'm going to probably say it every time I get a mic in my hand. The only person that's actually getting paid in the party is our state party chair and the staff. Everybody else on that central committee, all the way down to county party chairs and precinct committee folk, are all volunteers. Everybody's a volunteer. You can either be a part of the problem or a part of the solution. And I'm just going to put it out there 100. I hear a lot of people complaining, but I'm trying to tell y'all, if you don't like it, get involved. You don't have to stay on the sidelines.
Yep. The best way to change things, I've always felt this, is from the inside.
Absolutely. And you can do both. You can actually do party stuff. And if you want to do community nonprofit stuff, you can do that too. It's all about how much time and energy you want to put into it. Karen, I know you got to jump out of here, and I really do appreciate the amount of time that you shared with. Was there something that you wanted to share with our listeners that I didn't ask you?
The standard final question. No, I think you covered everything, but let me just reiterate my three talking points. Direct your anger. Make those phone calls. Do those, send those letters. Go out to demonstrations. Talk to your neighbors. Number 2, get involved. Call your county chair. Call your district chair, volunteer, help us on this voter registration drive. And number 3, we can always use money. Financial contributions we couldn't keep going without those.
Absolutely. So, and consider volunteering, right? I'm just going to plug that. Whatever skill set that you have, bring it to the fight, because we need you to be a part of the fight. Madam Chair, no, I got one more question.
Uh-oh.
I got one more. There's only been 2 women, as far as I know, that have been chair of this here state party, and only 1 person of color. And under our previous female state party chair, we had successes, and our Robin Winston, I think he's one of the most brilliant minds in all of politics. He was our party chair. First question is, tell us the importance and the significance of having a woman leading our Indiana Democratic Party.
Okay, well, that's a tough one, actually. I've been a woman. The last person was Ann Delaney,
Ann Delaney,
and that
yes.
was 30 years ago.
30.
And she did, yeah, it's been a while. So I think women, well, we all have discussed this, women bring a different perspective. Sometimes women are better at bringing people together, at uniting things, at not having fights, or at trying to teach your children how to behave with each other. Every party has its internal fights. I want to be, the person who can help bring those people back together, because we all need to be on the same boat, rowing in the same direction. So, but it's also funny for me because I've been an attorney for 35 years, and so I have been a woman functioning in kind of a man's world for a long time. And I guess I know how to do that.
Right. I love that. And then what would you say to young women? The last question, I promise. What would you say to young women who have been, who have felt like there wasn't a place? I'm not dissing men. I'm not. But we recognize that women have different set of challenges when we're in politics. So what advice would you give a young person coming up about this party politic that we are involved in?
You can do it. You can just do it. Just do it. That's what I can't remember the last time that the glass ceiling held me back. Well, I do remember exactly when it was. It was about 1972. And
I'm not going to tell you how old I was, Karen.
There was a job that I didn't get precisely because I was a woman. Wow. Oh, and another thing, I walked into the Berghoff restaurant stand-up sandwich bar because I was working downtown in Chicago, and they all looked at me and they said, well, we don't serve women in here. That was the last time I remember it. I just never accepted that. You don't have to accept being looked down upon because you're a woman. Just stand right up there with them and poke them in the nose.
That's it. I love it. And because you're all of 6'4", I know that you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You are bringing it. Madam Chair, thank you so much for coming on and talking to our Turn Left listeners. We're going to offer you love, light, and joy as you go out and venture into doing what's necessary to get our party winning again. And those of us that believe in the work, we will be right there with you, helping you, encouraging you, offering you our support, because it's not about individuals. It's about the work and making sure that we are electing people who are writing good policies that improve people's lives, not destroy them. So thank you so much for your time. I'm always here. Do not hesitate to reach out to Indiana Zone. I got you.
Thanks, Dana.
All right. Have a good one.
We are the resistance.
That's right. That's it. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye. Yo, that's it right there. We just had a great conversation with our state party chair. Karen Tallian's been around a long time, and she's been doing the thing that she does for our Democrats, for you as an elected official. Listen, no one person is right all the time, and there is no one person who is going to get you're going to agree with 100% of the time. It's just not going to happen. I know many of you have been married to someone that you would die for, kill for, live for, that you've been rocking with for 30, 40 years and have fed them and took care of them when they were sick and they were doing that for you, and you don't agree with them 100% of the time. So now it's an opportunity for us to be like, if we don't like a thing, come on. If you don't like a thing, get involved to help change a thing. I've been out here doing this for a while. I've had a lot of naysayers tell me, what we can and what we can't do. But look, every time I go out, I'm meeting people who want to be involved in this thing, and they just need some encouragement and some positive energy to say, hey, this is something that we can do. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. I am going to run an ad, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do my rant. All right. So I'm looking in the chat right now. I see my good friend, John Aguilera. I really do miss you, bruh. I literally talked about the region on the show. I don't know if you caught that or not. I also saw Janine Lee, my homie. She talked about a massive statewide voter registration. Actually, the chair actually talked about that. I know Alex Narinda is talking to different people around the state about a statewide voter registration drive that they're going to implement later this year. So there's going to be some more information coming out about that. Guys, your ideas are being heard, right? There's a Veterans Caucus and a Disabilities Caucus. I see you, Nikki Carr, asking about that. There's an opportunity for everyone to get involved. So I got a rant. I had a few things that I was going to talk about. I decided to whittle it down a little bit. Of course, they signed off on that property tax bill where they're cutting your property taxes. And I know a lot of folks are not unhappy that they're going to be cutting back on property taxes. I just hope you get all of your services that you hope to get, like your trash picked up, things like that, because municipalities are going to be hurting. Also, they gave municipalities the opportunity, if they wanted to raise sales tax. So they're going to cut property tax, but then give municipalities the opportunity to raise sales tax. And guess what? If they're short on money, guess what they're going to do? One good thing that we've seen come out this week is the Republicans have decided that they're going to ditch universal vouchers for this year, because, people making $275,000 probably didn't need that tax break. They're fine. They can send their kid anywhere, that they were going to do it anyway. I kind of want to talk about SB 289. SB 289 was the anti-DEI bill. And on Monday, they had about a 2.5, 3 hour debate on that. First of all, if you can get down to the State House and testify, congratulations, continue to do so, because your testimony drastically changed how this bill started and where it is now. Now, it's still bad, right? Because anybody that wants to be anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion are mediocre people who don't know how to excel or don't know how to compete. Let's just call it what it is. Mediocre white dudes are really upset that they've got to compete with exceptional Latinos, exceptional Black people, exceptional women, exceptional Asian people. See, before we started having diversity, equity, and inclusion, you could just exclude people, even with your anti-discrimination bills, because y'all figured out how to get around certain things. Y'all still talking about being qualified. Now, the author of the bill kept saying that Chris Jeter, who authored this bill, keeps talking about, we should be judging people on their merit. Yeah, because nothing says that we have an administration in the White House full of people with high merit than this clown show that we are seeing. Or how about the trolling Micah Beckwith with the car gate? I can't even believe this is a thing. He's so busy, being the lieutenant governor, he has time to troll people after he spends an exorbitant amount of money on a vehicle. But to listen to these people talk about merit and watch the clown show that we are seeing governing us is just preposterous. But again, they'll use those words as an opportunity to deny opportunities to brown and black people, women, LGBTQ plus community, people with this different abilities, all kinds of things. But I want to thank a lot of the medical students who came in to testify against this bill, because a lot of the things in these bills are saying you cannot talk about difference when we know medically there is a difference in certain things that happen in black people than happen in white people. For example, sickle cell anemia is not necessarily a thing in white people. So if you don't understand that and understand that there are certain things that are attributed to race, gender, culture based on chromosomes and hormones and all that, then you're going to misdiagnose people and people are not going to be served. And if the students can't learn about these things, or like how a rash shows up differently depending on how melanated your skin is. Right? Remember, the Band-Aid brand bandages used to have on the package skin tone, and they were all Manila. I ain't never had a Manila skin tone, so it wasn't my skin tone. So I do not like this bill for 100 of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons are the fines. $50,000 and $100,000. $50,000 fine for the first offense, $100,000 for the second offense. Okay, felonies, I think the max are like $10,000. So why is this particular penalty $200,000? Guys, they're literally trying to reshape how we think about America in a way that it erases culture of other people. I don't like this bill. I wish it would just go away, but it's not. Because, again, mediocre white dudes are following the orange man off a cliff. Do they not realize the pendulum is going to swing the other way at some point? And, Democrats might get in charge again. I was really happy to hear about the voucher thing going away. But, guys, a lot of these bills are passing because we don't have enough votes. There could be garbage because we can't stop anything because we don't have enough votes. We got to know how to count. And so if you don't like something that is happening in the party, don't come on my page and complain about what's not happening. Don't come on anybody else's page and complain about what's not happening. You can make a choice. You can join us. You can get in the fight. Because just sitting around complaining about a thing ain't gonna solve the problem. It's just not. And as much as I love talking and engaging and creating relationship with people, don't spend time with me if you're not offering me any. Don't complain about it if you ain't got no solution and a way to get it done. Now, I'm out here grinding. I do what I do. I do what I do best. Do what you do best. Don't try to be me. I'm not gonna try to be you. I'm not an attorney. Not an accountant. There are a lot of things I cannot do. I do what I do best. So bring your gift, and I'm going to keep harping on it. This is the year of reorg. This is the year for everybody to get engaged. You have a lot of energy, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of good work out here. So just get involved. Stop sitting home, doing nothing, complaining. Now, obviously, there are different types of things to do. Say you are immobile, or maybe you can't get out of the house. Can you make phone calls? You can do that right from the crib. You ain't got to go nowhere. Can you fundraise? Can you send a link out, an ActBlue link out to raise money for somebody? And I can show you how to make those supporter forms. I work at ActBlue. So there's ways for us to do the work that needs to be done. But guys, just complaining about it is not going to get it done. Being mad about who won and who lost is not going to get it done. It's just not going to get it done. So you can be a part of the solution or a part of the problem. But you know what, guys? There's so many amazing things coming down the pike. Now, look, next week, I won't be in town, so there will not be a show next week. But Dana Colbert and I are working on the next installment of our training videos. I love the training videos. You guys have told us you love the training videos because you want to learn more, you want to do more, you want to understand more, and we're going to keep putting those together, right? So in the meantime, if you have a couple of coins in your pocket, click the link. Donate to the Indiana Democratic Party, okay? Look for more announcements about fundraisers and opportunities to contribute because they're coming, all right? And I will be bringing you more guests on the show. I am excited because I'm going to get a chance to interview Reverend David Green and Reverend Antonio Alexander of Concerned Clergy. And we're going to, because another thing that I keep hearing, people keep asking me, you know, are faith-based people involved in the party? Yes. Now, the Concerned Clergy is a nonprofit, nonpartisan, but Concerned Clergy care about the same things you care about. So we're going to get a chance to talk to those folks about what they're doing in the faith-based community. If you are a faith-based person, there's a way for you to get involved. What? The lesbians going to have the clergy? Yes. Because everybody is welcome in this here party. Everybody. So I'm looking forward to talking to those two right here on Turn Left. Concerned Clergy. I believe I have it scheduled for the first Thursday in May. So look for it. In the meantime, guys, Gary Snyder is doing his thing. There's other podcasters out there. So if I don't come on every week, don't worry about it. You can get information from a host of other people. In fact, I'm going to start sharing them. There's a lot of us out here doing this work, right? And it's not just about Indiana's own, and there's enough sun for everybody to shine. But Gary Snyder is doing his thing. So you guys follow Gary Snyder if you're not already doing it. But in the meantime, I'll holler at y'all not next week, week after next, and we'll be bringing you some more information for you to chew on and tell you how you can get involved. All right, until next time, peace.
Turn Left is the property of Black Pearl IT Solutions. Executive producer, Indiana's own Dana Black. Music by www.bensound.com.